Millions of Americans are waking up to a major change in their food assistance this November. The federal government has finalized new permanent rules for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly known as SNAP. These changes are not temporary. They are designed to stay in effect for years unless Congress reverses them. In today's video, we'll clearly explain what these new rules mean, who must now work or participate in training to keep benefits, who is exempt, how the definition of a dependent has changed, and what happens if you don't meet the requirements. Before we begin, please like this video and subscribe to Social Security Post. If you have any questions about SNAP Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or Medicaid, please write them in the comments below. We post clear, factual updates every day so you never miss an important rule change that could affect your benefits or your family's income. On July 4th, 2025, Congress passed a massive multi-trillion-dollar bill signed by the president that restructured several federal programs, including SNAP. The purpose of this legislation was to tighten eligibility for able-bodied adults and reduce long-term dependency on government assistance. Over the summer, federal agencies worked with state offices to implement the new guidance. By November 1st, 2025, the new rules officially took effect nationwide. Unlike earlier temporary waivers or pilot programs, these provisions are written into permanent law. There is no automatic expiration date. Federal officials have instructed states to apply the new standards uniformly across the country and to end many of the local or regional exemptions that used to exist. Unless future legislation changes them, these requirements are expected to remain in force indefinitely. The central rule now states that every able-bodied adult between the ages of 18 and 64 must work or participate in an approved activity for at least 80 hours per month, which equals about 20 hours each week, to continue receiving SNAP benefits. These activities can include employment, job training, adult education, or approved community service. If you do not meet that threshold for 3 months within any 3-year period, your benefits can be suspended. State agencies will be verifying hours more frequently than before. They will check employment records, training participation, and volunteer logs to confirm that each adult meets the standard. This nationwide enforcement replaces the old system where some areas could waive these rules during high unemployment. The expectation now is that every non-exempt adult under 65 must either work, train, or volunteer to keep assistance active. Several groups are fully exempt from these new work requirements. Seniors age 65 and older are automatically exempt and do not need to work regardless of their income or health condition. Individuals with documented disabilities, whether physical, mental, or sensory, are also exempt because they are not considered able-bodied under federal definitions. This includes anyone currently receiving supplemental security income or Social Security disability insurance, as those benefits already establish disability status. Pregnant individuals, those caring for dependents who qualify under the new definition, and people medically certified as unable to work also remain exempt. However, exemptions are no longer assumed automatically. You must make sure your disability, caregiving role, or medical condition is properly documented in your case file. Without that verification, your exemption may not be applied correctly and your benefits could be interrupted. One of the most significant changes under the new rules is the redefinition of what counts as a dependent. In the past, any child under 18 years old qualified a parent or guardian for an exemption from work requirements. Now, only children aged 13 or younger are recognized as qualifying dependents for SNAP purposes. This shift is causing confusion and could remove exemptions for millions of parents. For example, if you are a parent of a 10-year-old, you remain exempt. But if your youngest child is 14, you are now required to meet the 80-hour work or training rule. If you have multiple children, only the youngest child's age determines whether you qualify for exemption. So, a parent with both a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old remains exempt, but a parent with 2 teenagers aged 14 and 17 does not. This change means that parents of older teens, even those still in high school, may now have to comply with the new work requirements. The government defines an able-bodied adult as someone without a verified physical, mental, or sensory limitation that prevents them from working. Anyone who has such a condition and can provide documentation is not considered able-bodied. That means if you have a certified disability, such as blindness, chronic illness, or another impairment, you are completely exempt from the new work rule. Individuals already approved for supplemental security income or Social Security disability insurance are automatically recognized as disabled and do not need to provide extra proof. If you are still waiting on a disability decision, you may need to provide medical statements from your doctor or supporting records to your state's SNAP office. States have been told to apply these definitions strictly, so make sure your paperwork clearly shows your condition and limitations. Keeping your exemption active will prevent time-limited months from being counted against you while your case is under review. If you fail to meet the 80-hour-per-month requirement and you do not have an approved exemption, your SNAP benefits can be suspended after 3 months within a 3-year window. Once suspended, you must either show proof of compliance or newly qualify for an exemption before benefits can restart. States are required to monitor compliance closely through periodic checks, cross-referencing employment data, and training program attendance. This enforcement process is not something that resets automatically. Once you use up your 3 months, benefits remain stopped until you reestablish eligibility. If you lose your job or your hours drop below 20 per week, contact your local SNAP office immediately to enroll in an approved training or volunteer program. These activities can keep you in compliance and prevent a lapse in benefits. The government estimates that more than 2 million working-age adults could lose their food benefits under these stricter standards. The hardest-hit groups are expected to be those living in rural areas, regions with high unemployment, or communities where job training programs are limited. For many households, these benefits are the difference between eating 3 meals a day and going hungry. Supporters of the new law argue that these requirements will motivate more people to seek steady employment and reduce long-term dependency on assistance. Critics, however, warn that the policy fails to consider unstable job markets, fluctuating work hours, and health issues that don't always qualify as full disabilities. Whether you agree or disagree with the policy, one thing is clear. These new rules are active now, and non-compliance will mean losing your food benefits. The first step is to check whether you are exempt. If you are 65 or older, disabled, pregnant, or the caretaker of a child aged 13 or younger, make sure that exemption is correctly noted in your records. Ask your caseworker to confirm it. If you are not exempt, register for your state's employment and training program or sign up for approved community service to meet the 80-hour monthly requirement. Keep pay stubs, schedules, and attendance sheets as proof. If you receive a notice saying your benefits will stop, read it carefully. You have the right to appeal within a specific deadline listed on the letter. During that appeal period, you may continue participating in required activities to show good faith compliance. Taking these steps now can help you avoid losing benefits in the months ahead. These new food stamp rules are designed to be permanent. Federal agencies and state governments have been told to treat them as long-term policy rather than a temporary experiment. While Congress or federal courts could change the rules in the future, officials say there is no plan to revisit the definitions or reduce requirements before 2029. That means Americans should assume these standards are here to stay for the foreseeable future. For recipients, that means 2 options. Either maintain a documented exemption or commit to fulfilling the monthly work and activity requirement. If your circumstances change, such as a new disability, medical issue, or change in household size, notify your caseworker right away. Keeping your records current is the best protection against interruptions in your food assistance. These new SNAP rules for November have reshaped who qualifies for benefits and who must now meet work expectations. Adults aged 18 to 64 without verified disabilities or young dependents must now document at least 80 hours each month of employment, training, or service. Failing to do so could mean losing your benefits after only 3 months. Understanding the new age and dependent definitions today can help you stay compliant and protect your food budget tomorrow. If you found this explanation helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Social Security Post, and share it with others who depend on SNAP or other federal benefits. It will continue bringing you the latest verified updates, new policies, and guidance to help you stay informed and prepared.